The faithful are sitting here telling me and RC that it's not that cold out here. I'm waving my finger like Chris Jones, like, Tumbo, tell me it's not cold out.
No.
You know what? They're warmed by winning, and they continue to do just that. They move to 7-0 in this divisional round with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. There are legends only on this list. The youngsters don't know about the snake or about Terry Bradshaw as the playing version of Terry Bradshaw. I promise you, they were all bad men, and Joe Cool in the middle, one of the greats of all time. But now Patrick Mahomes distances himself even further. They were able to outlast D'Amico Ryans and a Houston Texans team that really battled. Here is Houston's head coach.
Yeah, we knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody, right? When I say everybody, it's everybody, all of whatever. Everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody we had to go against today. And, you know, going with that, knowing going into this game what we were up against, we can't make the mistakes that we made, right? We had a lot of self-inflicted mistakes that happened, whether it's special teams, not converting our kicks, defensively, not being where we're supposed to be in coverage, all offensively, not protecting our quarterback and keeping him clean. So, you know, you marry that on top of everything else that we have to deal with. It's going to be a really tough uphill battle.
And no body fat to keep them warm either.
God,
those guys
they ain't thick enough.
A lot of planks. Those guys do a lot of planks. Okay, Ryan Clark is alongside, and RC had Travis not walked up. When he did, I would have asked Joe and Troy what I want to start with you, because you heard D'Amico talk about against everybody.
Yes.
And everybody, according to many on the social media, included the referees on occasion tonight. There were several hits that our rules officials said weren't late hits.
No, definitely.
The second one in particular, when Mahomes is a runner, I just don't know what you're supposed to do. How do you react to the calls?
I think the first thing, you have to start to understand the position these defensive players are in. Patrick Mahomes in that moment is running side to side. He's basically playing with the defenders, and then when they close on him, he falls straight to the ground.
Right.
This wasn't a situation of sliding and giving yourself up. These players were trying to tackle Patrick Mahomes as he danced around versus their defense. And when you have a call like this in this situation that gives the Kansas City Chiefs a new set of downs,
15 yards.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
Think back early on in the game to the Will Anderson Jr. roughing the passer as well, where he makes clear connection with the shoulder pad of Patrick Mahomes. And listen, to Chiefs fans, to people watching, we're not making an excuse or saying this is the reason that they won.
But you got to acknowledge the calls.
Exactly. And versus the team that you have to be virtually perfect against, them being helped by some bad or questionable calls really hurts a team like the Houston Texans.
And your margin is so narrow because you do need to be seemingly perfect. And that's where I keep coming back when it comes to this team. And it's exactly what Swag said on Countdown. He's like, you got to beat them. If you wait for them to beat themselves, it's not going to happen. And when that last drive, the drive that we're talking about on that penalty, that led to the touchdown to Kelsey that extended the lead to 8.
Absolutely. And so you're deflated as a football team if you do everything you need to do to get a stop. If you converge on Patrick Mahomes in the way that you're supposed to, and you don't commit a foul, but yet you're handed one, that's an issue. Right. Because now you've gotten 15 yards. Now you've given up another set of downs. And so not only being deflated, but you're putting the football in the hands of the best quarterback in the world, and you eventually pay.
And this Chiefs team is going to be a lot to deal with next week, and they're going to be here where they're so hard to beat. But I do wonder this Houston Texans team ran it on them.
Yes.
What do Buffalo and Baltimore like to do?
Well, the first thing is they got to beat each other.
I understand, but
hey, whoever comes into town is either going to have that running game with James Cook and Josh Allen or with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And I believe when you watch this film and the physicality at the offensive line of the Houston Texans was able to display the way Joe Mixon ran the football, you'll be licking your chops offensively.
You might, but you got to beat them. And this Kansas City team is better than anyone we've seen in this last little window of time at figuring out one way or another to have more than you.
Just to be really quick, Chanel blocks the kick to beat the Denver Broncos, and he shuts the game down tonight with the same exact type of rush.
We'll see you when Clark will be with me in a bit. One of the stars of the game, for the Chiefs will visit with us, I believe, as well, if time allows. And we will visit as well with Joe and Troy in the booth in just a moment. As for the key sequences in this game, the Texans trailed by 1 after they got the ball coming out of the locker room at halftime, scored, and then missed the extra point. The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes on 3rd and goal. And Mahomes finds Kelsey in the end zone. He's wrapped up. Mario Edwards Jr. is there, but 87 is on the other end. Travis Kelsey, who trails only Jerry Rice all time in receiving touchdowns and receiving yards in the playoffs. So down 8, the Texans got to go. They go for it on 4th and 10. They were really off schedule there. They up against the play clock, got sacked. They trail by 11. And then Stroud goes down here. It's Karlaftis, who lived in the backfield all game long for the Chiefs here. Fairbairn comes on, had a rough day kicking in this win. This kick is blocked. Leo Chenal gets through there. It's 23-12 at that point. The Chiefs take an intentional safety. I'll promise you, Joe, Al Michaels wasn't the only person paying attention to that one. Significant to some, as the saying goes. But regardless of the margin, in the end, what matters is the Chiefs had more, and they head to the AFC Championship game for a staggering 7th consecutive season. Patrick Mahomes matches Joe Montana for the 2nd most playoff wins all time, trailing only Tom Brady. He gets there faster, by the way, than Brady did by about 5 years. And Mahomes and Andy Reid improved to 11-2 at Arrowhead in the postseason. Up to the booth to visit with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. And men, at the end of this game, all I can do is shake my head and think, if you're the Texans and you look at this box score and you look at how you played on balance, you played incredibly well. But Joe, I think it just speaks to how perfect you've got to be if you want to beat this Chiefs team. And at this point, I honestly don't know what you have to do. I wonder where you land with that.
Yeah, I mean, same spot as you do. You have to be perfect. You can't make special teams errors. I mean, it happened right out of the gate with a 63-yard return by Remigio to start the ball game, and then a penalty on special teams, and right from the opening kickoff.
Sure.
There they are inside the red zone. So yeah, you have to be perfect. Mahomes, Reed,